1969 brought some new excitement to Mercury dealers, backed by some drag racing heavy hitters. (1969) was a big year for the Mercury Cougar. In fact, it was a complete redesign for the model. And although the Ford and Mercury engineers decided to keep the 111-inch wheelbase as the 68 model, overall the Cougar was a little bit wider, a little bit longer, and it appeared larger than the 67 and 68 cars. One of the interesting styling features of the 69 Cougar was a full-length crease that started just above the front bumper and then gently trailed down and pointed towards the center of the rear wheel, and then it picked up again behind the rear wheel, going straight back into the rear bumper. This character line actually helped to make the Cougar look a little bit bigger than it was. The 69 Cougar also had a brand new front end style. Instead of having the vertical plated details like the 67 and 68 cars, the Mercury designers decided to run horizontal slats. They still retained the hidden headlights and the narrow grille section in the middle, but now it had a wider appearance thanks to these horizontal slats. They did incorporate a very nicely fitting chrome bumper that wraps around the bottom half of the nose, and in our case we're looking at a Cougar Eliminator, which is a high-performance version of the car, so it also has the hood scoop and the hood pins, and also features a lower spoiler beneath that front valance. The rear of the 69 Cougar echoes some of the styling elements of the front, namely in that it has a very nicely fitting rear bumper as well. This is also chrome and wraps around the bottom half of the rear of the car. They incorporated reverse lights in the corners of the quarter panels with a brightly chrome-plated trim piece that goes over the full-width taillights, but they also are sequential, so they light up in sections of 3 from the middle going outward when you turn on the turn signal. The Eliminator also has a very distinct styling element in the back, being an adjustable rear wing. It's a dual pedestal wing, almost the full width of the car, and the wing tips aggressively point down towards the quarter panels. The Mercury team was trying to generate excitement about the Eliminator, so they incorporated a racy stripe that starts on the front fender and ends up on the quarter panel. It's a black stripe with a thin pinstripe right below, and it ends in block letters that say Eliminator in a type style that's all business. We first saw the Eliminator name on Dyno Don Nicholson's 1968 Cougar-bodied funny car, which was powered by a 427 single overhead cam Ford motor. And that thing was wildly popular among drag racing fans, so much so that Mercury decided to use the Eliminator name on a Cougar show car, which then evolved into what we see here in this 1969 Cougar Eliminator. Now, even though the Eliminator was supposed to be the racy version of the Cougar, they did keep the creature comforts to a maximum. So you've got a good-looking steering wheel with 3 spokes. There's a large 4-gauge pod incorporating a 120-mile-an-hour speedometer for the driver. Many options were available, including AM/FM radios and air conditioning, and the passenger gets to look at a clock recessed in the dashboard. Another aspect that really reinforced the Cougar Eliminator's image as being a high-performance vehicle was the fact that they only came in 4 different colors. Code 6 was bright blue, Code 9 was yellow, Code M was white, and like we see on our car, Code 3, which is competition orange. When you couple the bright colors with the hood scoop and the rear wing and the chin spoiler and the blacked out grille and the black stripe, it's obvious that this is a racy machine. The Eliminator could be had with a bunch of different engine options. The base was a 351, and you could get the 428 Cobra Jet engine. By mid-year, you could get the Boss 302, and there was 2 of these actually made with the Boss 429 in a full race version. Ours has a 320 horsepower 390. even though there was a variety of engines available in the Cougar Eliminator. They were all real high-performance choices that gave the car a different personality depending on what engine you chose. The 302, for example, was designed to be a high RPM engine, whereas the 428 car was more of a torque monster to get this thing off the line in a drag race situation. Our car is powered by the 320 horsepower 390 cubic inch V8 fed by a single 4-barrel, but that is offset by a pretty high torque rating of around 427 foot-pounds. It's 10.5 to 1 compression, and that means that this car is kind of the best of both worlds from a standpoint of having a whole bunch of torque, but it's not as high-strung as the 428, and it's definitely not going to sip quite as much gas. Although the Eliminator name suggests eliminating your competition on the drag strip, these cars also drove and handled quite nicely. The wheel, tire, and suspension package were tuned to work together, and in fact Motor Trend magazine did a road test in 1969, and they said that the Cougar handled very well. It didn't exhibit a lot of body roll, but the Eliminator package wasn't too radical, making the car something that you could drive and enjoy as a daily driver. Behind our 390 is a C6 automatic transmission, which is a 3-speed automatic, and this car has a Ford 9-inch rear axle with a 350 rear gear with a locking differential, and this car rolls on factory-issued 15 by 7-inch Magnum-style wheels. Cougar Eliminators were only built for 2 years before the car became more about luxury and less about performance. But you can share this bright orange one with your friends through our Facebook page or website, and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel to see what we bring out for you next week on Muscle Car of the Week.